show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. And guess what? We're bringing it to your house today with my special guest, Vera Thomas. How are you, Vera?
I am just blessed and so honored to be here today.
I know we've had so much good conversation already on stage. I feel like we've already listened to worship music.
Yes.
We praised the Lord and just had a really good time.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a sister in Christ.
Yes. I feel the same.
Yeah. I've really had a beautiful backstage experience. So before you all even get the opportunity to encounter my special guest, and I'll definitely formally introduce you all to her, just know that as you're connecting with Vera Thomas, you're connecting with a very special soul is what you're connecting with. Yeah.
Thank you.
So glad to have you here today. Listen, everybody, make sure you go ahead and grab your virtual seats and make sure you invite anyone that's been dealing with whether it's inner issues of growing up as a child, being mishandled certain ways, and now you're trying to figure out how to maneuver as an adult. If you're dealing with raising children that have experienced bullying and they don't know how to defend themselves, how to protect themselves, you're going to learn so much on today's episode as you hear from our expert, Vera Thomas. Actually, Vera, I should tell you this too. We have what's called Freestyle Friday.
Yes.
And so I don't know if I've ever formally invited you to be one of my experts. Have I? I don't know. But guess what? Right now, as of today, I'm asking you if you would please be one of our Freestyle Friday experts.
I would love it. Thank you.
And people will benefit significantly from what you'll share, for sure. For sure. All right. So we're going to get started because we have an hour and we're going to really maximize this time together. So everybody ready? If you're ready for today's episode, go ahead and put it in the comment section. I'm ready. I'm here. I'm in my seat. I am prepared to learn. I am here to glean from the brilliance and the excellence that's getting ready to come forward. Everybody, let me hear from you. Do not be silent in this audience today for any reason. All right?
Absolutely.
Right. All right. Vera Thomas, certified life coach, international speaker, trainer, mediator, and poet. She is a 22-time. That's why I couldn't even download all of her books, y'all. 22-time best-selling author, producer of a twice-weekly podcast radio show called The Vera Thomas Show. Her show is on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Vera has worked with companies, organizations, schools, churches, and nonprofits, developing, designing, and delivering soft skills training. Everything the world, the government, we all need. And this is my own words interjected in here. Being a poet, she actually developed an after-school program allowing students to express themselves through poetry, short story, song, or rap, y'all. She know how to rap too. Anyway, she teaches presentation skills and you name it, all kinds of other things. She has the I Believe in Me school assembly, anti-bullying program. It's so many things you're going to learn from her today. Using your power, using my power, and my greatness is designed to increase self-esteem and to help people understand the greatness that's within each and every one of them. So welcome everybody to the Kim Jacobs Show. None other than, and yes, I want y'all to give some rounds of applause to Vera.
I love it.
Glad to have you here, Vera. Very glad.
Thank you.
So as we get started, first of all, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, but I would like for people just to learn a little bit more about you because you've overcome so many things yourself, and things that are hardships, trials, tribulations that nobody knows about you. And so this show is about how you balance life. Talk to us about what you've had to overcome to become who you are today.
Well, one of the reasons that my focus is with parents and their children is because I grew up being told things like you're stupid, you're dumb, you're fat, you're ugly, you're nothing, you'll never be anything. And that's just not anything that any adult should ever tell a child. And I don't want any child to ever feel like I felt when those things were said to me.
Mhm.
And so being able to recognize, as Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your permission.
That's right.
We have to understand, even as children, just because people say these things, just because other kids say things or do things, we don't have to allow that to
Mm.
impact us. And I know that is so hard to do.
Yes.
It
It's
is
easier
hard,
said
but
than
but
done.
if parents instill greatness in their kids and instill confidence in their kids from the time that they are little,
Mhm.
from the time that they're able to talk, then when that adversity comes to them, they're able to say, "Well, I know who I am.
That's right.
I know who I am. So whatever you say, it doesn't matter." And
Mm.
it really to allow kids to take back their power.
That's good.
And, I was also a battered wife. And it took me years to build my confidence and self esteem and all that stuff. But during the time of being a battered wife, I lost it all.
Mm.
And it literally, I was married for 3 years. It literally took me 3 years to get back to some resemblance of who I was before I
Mm.
got married. But the kicker was I not only had to build myself back up, I had a child and
Right.
I had to instill confidence in him from the beginning as I was trying to regain my confidence and self esteem.
Mm.
And I've also experienced being attacked um, when looking for my biological father. And before I could meet him, I had gone on a date and this guy attacked me after the date. And I went into the house tattered, my clothes tattered. And unfortunately, because this guy was a friend of the family and
Mhm.
they knew him longer than they knew me,
Right.
they didn't believe me. And so
Aw.
I immediately left and came back to Ohio without having met my dad.
Oh my
And
gosh.
5 years after I went, my mother passed at the age of 43. So I went back to look for him to find that he died the year I was looking for him the first time. So I never met him, you
Oh
know.
my gosh.
And
That right there,
so,
I was not prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for that, what you just
and so
Mhm.
being able to overcome so many things and my story, I know there are other people that have been through so much. And if we can just recognize, first of all, whose we are,
Right.
if we can recognize, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
I just talked about that this morning, Psalm 139. Yes, we're
Yes.
fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes.
There's
And,
nothing about us that's a mistake. Nothing.
nothing, because God said, I know the plans
Mhm.
I have for you.
Yes,
Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. And he said, I knew you before you were born.
that's
So if
right.
we can recognize,
Mm.
that God has a plan and a purpose
That's
for
right.
all of our lives. And sometimes we go through stuff in order to outlive the plan that God has for us. We
That's right.
can't do and teach what we haven't experienced ourselves.
That's right. That's right. Wow. Okay. So you have overcome some significant trauma. Like you said, you're going to look for your dad and you're there. You're right there at the brink of getting the opportunity to meet him, and someone comes in and violates you,
Yes.
throws you off course, and then obviously you take a different path. And the path, even though you did not get to meet your father physically, obviously we all will reunite in heaven again. So
Yes.
that's the beautiful
Yes.
outcome of that. You
Yes.
know?
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
with you, Vera, I'm wondering, and any questions that you have throughout today's episode, please put them in the comment section. We will acknowledge you. We'll do everything we can to get your questions answered. And what I was wondering is that some of the childhood hurt and things that you shared about being bullied and ridiculed, belittled, invaded, all of these things that's happened to you, when a child actually carries that pain into their adult life, into adulthood, then what are your, in your opinion, some of the signs that the wounds are really still speaking in their adult years?
When you consider 60% of adults who have unresolved issues, those issues stem from their childhood. So, if a parent is reliving and raising their children the way that they were raised, and that suggests that they haven't overcome and resolved their own issues.
Right.
And oftentimes depression and anxiety and phobias and all those kinds of things can be transferred
Mhm.
to your children if you have not resolved them yourself. S- And sometimes it may be that you need counseling.
Mhm.
It may be that you need a coach,
Okay.
and there is a difference between the two,
Okay.
and so recognizing if there's some discomfort called dis-ease,
Mhm.
if you're feeling some dis-ease in your body, in your mind, mentally, physically, emotionally, then that suggests that perhaps there's some things that I need to do to work on myself so that I can be the best version of myself for my children.
Wow. So you believe wholeheartedly that the parents, if we can work on ourselves to become the best version of ourselves, then we can actually better educate our children and help them overcome some of the things they're experiencing.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's really
Absolutely.
good angle. I
Ye-
love it. I love it. I love it. So you're not suggesting that we only focus on this is what you're dealing with. This is your problem. This is your issue. This is where you need to get better. You're saying we focus on getting ourselves better, being the
Yes.
example for our children.
Yes,
My
yes.
goodness,
That
my goodness.
reminds me of a story. There was this little boy. His dad had come home from work, and his dad had brought all this work home, but the
Mhm.
little boy wanted his attention. So
Right.
his father took a picture out of a magazine, and the picture was a picture of a man.
Mhm.
And he told his son, sit and put this back together like a puzzle. Put this
Right.
back together,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll have time for you. And the little boy, he noticed what was on the other side, and he
Mhm.
came up and he said, Dad, as soon as I got the man together, I got the world together.
Oh,
So we look outside of ourselves for solutions when in actuality those solutions start within ourselves.
yes. Okay.
We can't deal with stuff out here, and also clearly understand
Mhm.
we have no control over how other people relate, react, and respond.
No
We
control
own no
whatsoever.
control. We don't have that kind of power. So when people said, you made me angry or you made me mad, no, you made yourself angry. You made yourself mad
Mhm.
because you related, reacted, and responded in
Right.
a certain way.
Mhm.
I can only control how I relate, react, and respond. And we don't have
That's good.
to allow other people
Mhm.
to kick our cat and make us feel less than. We don't have to allow that.
That's right. Because life is what people say is 10% of what happens to us, but 90% of how we respond to it.
Absolutely.
So things are going to happen. Things are going to happen that's out of our control. Things will happen that is something that we've never predicted, but is how we handle those things, how we respond to
Absolutely.
those things that make the difference.
Absolutely. I feel that we would be healthier people if we recognize and stop worrying about
Mhm.
everything I used to have a sign on my refrigerator that said, "Why worry when you can pray? Why
Why?
pray? Why pray if you're going to worry?"
That's right.
And the serenity prayer, accept the things I cannot change.
Mhm.
If I know I have no control over a situation, why am I worried about it?
That's right.
If I know that there's some things I can do about the situation, why am I worried about it? And I
Yeah.
see we've got comments coming
Yes, I was gonna
in.
say, and you know what? You're a talk show host yourself, so feel free to read the comment if you don't mind, Vera,
Oh
please.
my goodness.
We're
Hi,
the co-hosting.
Patina. Good to see you, my friend. She
Hey,
said, "You
Patina.
must put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Yes, before you give it to others."
That's right.
So true.
And I saw another comment. What's here? Saying Pacina. Say, good morning, Queens. You're a queen, Pacina. Yes,
Yes.
yes. And all of you that are on, I can see different ones of you that are on. I see your names and everything. But if you would, just put a comment so we can pop it up and we can acknowledge you and let you know that we are definitely amen, amen. And amen means
Yes.
so be it. So be it.
Yes. Yes. And she says, don't give people permission to
Mhm.
run your life.
That's
And
right.
see, that's the other thing we have to teach our kids. We have to teach our children the very things that I'm talking about where parents are concerned.
Right.
Once you connect to yourself, scripture says, love thy neighbor as thyself.
Yes.
I am convinced that so much hatred and visceral that's going on in the world today is because people don't love
That's
themselves.
so true. And they don't have a choice but to deflect and put it onto someone else because if the focus was on them, then they would be like, oh, I don't want the spotlight shining on my issues. So let me focus on your issue and your problems. And one of the things I was thinking about, Vera, is that children today, and even adults, it's not even just a child thing, but people are dealing with comparison and cyberbullying and constant, I'm not even talking about sometimes, constant visibility online. What should parents do at home to be able to build a child's self-esteem or self-worth before the world tries to define who they are?
Well, it can start before the child is even born.
Yeah.
One of the things, and I did this myself, I watched Phil Donahue. There was a show on, and this Japanese lady was on and talking about the impact that music has on a child before they are born. And so she talked about classical and Baroque music, but any kind of soft, calming music on your stomach during your pregnancy,
Yeah.
it helps to cause a child to develop early. My son was walking before he was 8 months old and talking before he was 2. And articulating. And I am convinced that whatever I was doing before he was born, talking to him, reading to him, and then playing that music on my stomach, I'm telling you, it will help a child develop early.
Yeah.
And I know that from my own experience. And then as they are growing, before they even can talk, read to your children and read positive books to your children and tell them even before they're able to talk, tell them how special they are, how beautiful they are, and instill in them the kinds of attitudes and character that you want them to have even before they can even talk. I remember, even helping him identify his eyes, his nose, his ears. Before, at 4 months, he was telling me, I would point to eyes, nose, ears, and he was able to point back and say what they were. And he was 4 months old at that time.
Yeah, that's funny. And it's never, you're never too young. That's why they have all of these programs where they have children being able to learn. I purchased programs when my children were younger, and they were learning at a very quick pace as a result.
Yes.
And one of my children, my daughter, she did the Pledge of Allegiance. She was being booked at city council meetings and different things. And she was like, it's on YouTube somewhere, but she was like less, I think she was like 2 years old. And one time she said, Mom, and she's only 2, she's like, I can't say it I said, what are you talking about? We're in front of all of these people. Say the pledge. You do this all the time. She said, I need my mic. She needed her mic. I said, somebody get this child a mic.
Yes.
And believe it or not, we instill even those kind of characteristics. It's like, you get a mic, give me a mic.
Right. And see, that's building confidence in your children and allowing them, even in terms of chores around the house, at an early age. My son was tall for his age. So at 4 years old, he looked like he was 6. And I would pick up the bigger things on the carpet and have him vacuum at 4 years old. And it gave him such a sense of pride to be able to look what I did, and so giving your children responsibilities at an early age.
That's right.
Is so important to teach responsibility.
It really is.
It is.
They feel like they are contributing. They're making a difference. Even, and as a balance doctor, I've had times where I've had like my children just step on a step stool and help cook, even if they're not. So just rinse the lettuce. So do whatever to make them feel like they're actively participating. So you all that are tuning in today, I'm hoping that you're taking notes, and you can even take the notes right here in this episode, so that way you can go back and later reference it and also share it with your friends. So let me also find out. I wanted to hear, you know what I want to do? I want to share something that I found. You don't even know I have this, but let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Okay. Say something until I find it. Say something to the people.
I just want to encourage parents to first of all, recognize your greatness. Recognize that God has given you so much and use what he's given you. And then recognize what God has given your children. If your children are constantly beating on pots and pans, maybe you have a musician.
Right.
If your kids are scribbling on the walls, maybe you got an artist. If your kids are constantly tumbling and jumping off of things, maybe you have an athlete, a track star, so recognize the gifts that your children display at an early age.
I love that.
It could be their purpose. It could be their passion, and nurture it. Nurture it. It's so important to be able to do that.
I think that's such great input and advice, because when our children, when they do these different things that look like, that's aggravating, or don't do that. Or I actually had a friend this past week, and her child is a teenager, and she drew this mural basically on the back of the bedroom door, just her door. But then she was like, I need some advice from the aunties, because this girl is tripping. She done went and did this on the door that I'm paying for, type of thing. And what I did was I told her, you know what? My advice is, let her draw the mural over the entire room. How about you just say, have at it. It's your room. You can always paint over it later when she goes. But this might be her only way of expressing herself.
And it might also be her passion, because there's a young girl here in Canton that has been doing murals all over the city.
Yes.
And making very good money doing it. And so it may start in her room. She start a portfolio of the work that she's doing and share it. And it could be a little business for her.
Okay.
Did you see the mural yourself?
I did see it, and it is gorgeous.
See what I'm saying? So she needs to start taking pictures of what it is that she's doing and sharing it. There may be companies or organizations that would want something like that on their walls. It could be a little business for her.
I agree.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Parents, don't get annoyed when your kids are doing something that you think is so out of order, because it could be a part of their purpose and their passion.
I love what you're saying. And let me pull this in because this is going to speak to what Vera Thomas is gifted at doing. She actually pulls out the greatness in young people. And so I found this clip and I wanted to add it up here for you to chime in on it in a few minutes here. But let me play this for a minute because I love what I heard this. And this is also has your contact information, which will make sure you know how to stay connected. But take a listen to this.
To accomplish a task, there's no need to ask. My greatness, when I allow creativity to flow, everyone will know. It's my greatness. When I share, give of myself. To whom is left. My greatness. Need not compare. Anyone. Anywhere. There's no need to compete. With others I chance to meet. My greatness is unique. It makes my life complete. I just need to be myself. Do my best. And do my best. Always do my best. And greatness. My greatness. Will stand the test.
Wait, I want to put that back. That is epic. That is wait. I want to make sure I stop there. But that is just incredible.
Well, let me tell you, that poem, I used it with my after school program, and the kids we would start the program with them saying that. And by the end of the 8 weeks, one, they had it memorized, but they were literally walking in the room, my greatness. And I worked with a parent and her child, her daughter. Something had triggered her no longer performing in school. She was being bullied. And so one of the things, we personalized that poem, and I told her, Mom, have her read this every day before she goes to school.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, she had a turnaround. She had a turnaround because she recognized her greatness, and then she was able to articulate to these kids that were messing with her, this doesn't impact me because I know who I am. I know the greatness that's inside of me. And so the power of the spoken word. Parents, that's why I was saying, even before they're able to talk, instill that in them. Tell them. I think about that movie, The Help, where, the maid was telling this little girl, I am strong, I am smart, these are the things you need to tell your kids. And by doing so, other people are going to see that in them.
Right.
And articulate it to them as well. I remember I had a sign on my bathroom mirror when my son was a toddler that said, I am talented, I am talented and intelligent, I am creative. And I had him say that every single day. When he was in middle school, he sang I Believe I Could Fly at the school assembly. And afterwards, teachers and parents came up to me and said, Miss Thomas, your son, he's so talented, he's so intelligent, he's so creative.
That's because they've been trained because he came with that just coming through his pores,
Yes. And him and I looked at each other like, wow.
Okay.
Saying, And so the things that you're instilling in your children, other people are going to recognize it.
That's right.
And even comment on it. And so words matter. Scripture says life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So are you speaking life into yourself?
That's good.
Are you speaking life into your children?
That's
And, when children are misbehaving, one of the things that grates me so bad, I remember complimenting a child in a store.
mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, she is so cute. And the first thing that came out of the mother's mouth is, oh, but she's so bad.
Aw.
I said, don't say that. I said, never tell your children they're bad.
Right. Now you have
Never
to
tell
teach the
your
session to
children.
the parent.
Right. Because if a child keeps hearing you're bad, then guess what?
That's what they're going to begin to believe.
That's what they're going to begin to believe, and that's what they're going to begin to act on.
Right.
So when your children are misbehaving, there are several things you can do.
Tell us.
One, you can divert them from that behavior, distract them, and give them something else to do.
That's right.
A lot of people put kids in corners. You want to question your kids. Critical thinking is another thing that's lacking.
Very much so. Yes.
Allow your children to critically think about their behavior, what it is that they're doing, by asking them questions. What made you do that?
Right. Because you want to understand, it might be something that you need to check into in school. Every day when my children would get in the car from school, I would talk to them and say, what was the best part of your day?
Yeah.
And then I would say, what's something you wish you would have changed or could have been done differently? And then I learned exactly what parent-teacher conferences I need to have as a result of what they say. And then I also, many years I did this, and actually still, believe it or not, is sitting on our counter where they're table topics, where we get a chance. It's like a thing filled with about 100 or so cards, and we randomly during dinner.
Yes.
And I learned so much about my children that I never knew. That's how I began to realize what talents to further develop. I had one of the questions, I was like, what if you were president or something for the day, or you could change anything about the world, what would you do? And one of my children said, I would create an emotion code detector so that I would be able to know what the emotions are of individuals. I was like, what?
That is awesome.
This was from like one of my little kids at the time. So I knew that I had these entrepreneurs and future billionaires from my blood, from me, from my bloodline, my seeds. They're going to be great. Just by the answers that they gave, that nobody would be able to just give off the top of their head as a little kid at a dinner table. To these questions.
Yes. I did that same exercise with my grandchildren. They were here, they came over, and I was like, okay, let's engage here. Right. And so I have those cards as well. And so each of them got cards and asked the questions, and they responded. And you'd be amazed at what kids are thinking.
Yes.
And that's kids say the darndest things. They really do. And we need to listen to our children. Mm-hmm. Don't set them aside. Don't tell them to go somewhere and play. Spend time with them. And it's not the quantity of time that you spend with your children. Right. It's the quality of the time. You may be an entrepreneur. You may be a working parent that's working long hours. Take time out for each one of your children individually. I had a client that he had 4 kids, but his one child loved baseball. So he got on a plane with his kid and came to a Braves game with just that one kid. But whatever the other children, whatever it was that they loved to do, he made sure that he did that with them individually. So it's important, and never compare your children. Never say, why can't you be more like your sister? Nope. Why can't you be more like your brother? Don't do that. because it minimizes that child and it makes them feel less than. Don't lay guilt trips on your kids to make them feel bad about not doing what you want them to do.
None of my children are like me. So what I do tell parents, and let me say this too, because I think this is a really good conversation we're having, is there may be some things that your children become interested in. And if you also can take time to merge your obligations, I talk about that in a book that I wrote, about balancing your life. Extreme Balance Makeover is what it's called. But what I started doing is acting, because one of my children was heavily into acting, and I was sitting in the car for 3 to 5 hours waiting for him to come out and be done. And I was like, oh my gosh, this kid is giving me a fit. I'm just sitting here for hours. And I turned it around. I said, you know what, Kim? Go in and audition. And guess what? I got the part on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Sidney Poitier's mom.
Yeah.
And I was Mary. And I was like, John, what happens to men when you get of a certain age? I was being so silly. But the point is, it gave me a chance to bond with my son.
Absolutely. Those things are so important. Now, I'm not musically inclined, but my son is. And so when he was 6 years old, he wanted drums. So I got him drums. And then he wanted a keyboard. So I got him a keyboard. And he produces music for other people now, and now that he's come back to Christ, thank you, Lord. Thank you. He is now also, yes. He's now doing gospel rap as street ministry.
Okay.
Reach out to other young people.
Nice.
Doing some awesome things. And
I'm proud of him.
Yes.
Congratulations.
But it started from the time he was a child. I mean, music has been, but again, I played music on my stomach too, right?
Right.
And music has just been ingrained in him before he was even born. And it's been a lifelong thing for him, And so nurturing your children and supporting them. And I love the fact that you decided to get, and it was fun for you as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fun. And I learned something about myself that I definitely did not know I had the capability of even doing. I'm like, this is way beyond my comfort zone. But guess what? It worked and I loved it. And it gave us time to go grab something to eat on the way to rehearsal, talk and bond and learn more about each other.
Yes.
And even practice our scripts together. So it was really good. But let me ask you too, with a lot of anti-bullying conversations, they focus heavily on the bully and the victim, but not enough on the silent bystander. It's like, so how do we teach young people that are standing there, they're seeing this, to use their power when they see someone else being mistreated? Because that is
so important. And I have, as a matter of fact, I have a gift on that link on how to raise children that are not bullies, and so that's a link that they can pull up for some advice on things. But being able to, when your child is confident in themselves, then they're going to have the confidence to speak up when they see another child being bullied. And it's okay to do that. I remember one of my grandchildren, we were having a conversation and she was saying that there was another child that was being bullied. And she said she went up to the bully and said, "Why are you doing this to her?"
Right.
Why are you doing this? You must have an issue with yourself. Because let's face it, hurt people.
Always.
And in many cases, people who bully other people is because they've been bullied themselves. And they may have been bullied by their parents. A lot of times parents are bullies.
That's right.
And
parents are the people doing the bullying. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Right. And
You
so
know?
then how do you say that? Look, I'm being bullied by my mom or by my dad or by my auntie or uncle. I'm being bullied by my siblings. It's like this is internal issues that's happening. And
Yes.
what advice do you give in situations like that where the bullying is coming right from with the place that
Within
they
the
have to send them?
home. First of all, parents, don't allow your kids to bully each other. Don't allow your kids to call each other out of their name. You know, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And for me to hear a child say, "Oh, we do that all the time. They know I love them."
They know I'm playing. No.
No, because you don't understand the impact. That other child may well act like it's okay, but that child is internalizing what's being done to them.
That's right.
You know, and so it's just parents, don't allow it. Just clearly, you know, and don't be the one calling your child out of their name. Don't call them stupid or any of those things. They may do stupid things, but that doesn't make them stupid.
But once people become used to doing things, Vera, in a matter that's a habit that they've now formed, even when they're trying to back out of it to do it differently, where can they start? Because it's like people have been like, that's what I've always called them. You dumb, you stupid, you da-da-da, whatever they're saying. Now they're trying to figure out how to replace it. How do they force themselves to replace it when they're used to doing it a different way?
First of all, awareness precedes change. And when
somebody
we know,
type that. Awareness precedes
change. And when we know better, we do better. So as a result of this conversation, if you know that these are the kinds of things that you do, you need to put yourself in check, you know, immediately. And yelling, I want to talk about that for a minute, because there are different types of yelling. And when we are yelling out of anger, out of frustration, because we're upset, that can traumatize a child.
Yes, it can.
And the question is, how do you feel when someone yells at you?
Horrible.
And amplify it in a child, because it can literally cause all kinds of trauma. It can cause depression. It can cause anxiety. It can cause a child that may have been extroverted to become more inward because they don't know how their parent is going to relate or respond to them. Right. And so you can and we can tell when we're getting ready to raise our voice.
Yeah.
We can tell.
You get heated on the inside.
You can feel it. And at that point, you need to calm yourself down before you relate to your child. You can do that in several ways. One, by breathing. Just take deep breaths before you even let any words come out of your mouth. Deep breaths. You can also rub your fingers together to calm yourself. You can do one of these numbers and feel the ridges in your fingers to calm yourself.
You can feel the ridges? Say it again.
Feel the ridges in your finger as you're rubbing your fingers across each other. And so the focus becomes that instead of the anger or the frustration that you were feeling. You can
if you're rubbing your hands raw now, you know you really need to go get some therapy. If you like that.
Right. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, you know, enough that you can be in tune with the touch. And you can simply say, peace, be still.
Peace, be still.
Peace, be still. And I'm telling you, if you're in a contentious environment, you can, I'm telling you, like I said, we don't have control over how other people are relating, reacting, or responding, but we can calm ourselves. It takes two to argue. And you can calm yourself by saying, peace, be still. Peace.
Let's everybody practice that for a moment, literally. Like when you feel your heartbeat, and you can tell it's getting ready to get pretty intense. And you're like, you know what? Let me calm down. And even when you're trying to talk to yourself, just saying, you know what? Peace.
Yeah.
Be still.
Yes.
Peace. And if you're telling peace, be still, it's no way cussing and anger and all of that's going to come out at the same time, because
No.
those two can't dwell together.
Absolutely. And it literally calms you. And it calms you to the point where you really don't relate, react, or respond to that negative energy that's coming at you. I know from experience.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And Futina, she says, once my son told me, Mom, when you yell at me, it makes me feel small. Whoa. That was an awareness
for a
for
wise
me.
child.
Yes. And we came up with a plan to change behavior, to let me know and me to adjust the what and how I say things. Again, when we know better, we do better.
That's good.
And children need to feel confident enough to express and set boundaries.
That's right.
You know, set you as a child, particularly middle school and teenagers, you can set boundaries. You do not have to allow, even if parents are coming at you from a negative perspective, you can remove yourself. You can say, that's making me feel really bad, you know, for you to yell at me like this. And set boundaries. Boundaries are so important in every area of our lives. You know, and especially in relationships.
This is good. This is really good. Now, I wanted you too to take a moment to share. There was a poem that I've heard you share before, and I want people to hear this. See your window, see your window, see your life. Can you take a moment, if you will, and let me put you over here, because I want you to be front and center so y'all can hear and visualize what's being shared.
I want you to imagine a room, and I want you to imagine the windows in that room, and you can imagine either with your eyes open or with your eyes closed, and just take a few minutes to imagine a room and imagine the windows. Can you see those windows? If you can see the windows, put in the chat, I see the windows.
Somebody type, I see the windows.
If you see the windows, put in the chat, I see the windows.
I see the windows.
If you can see your windows, you can see your life. See the windows in any room with eyes open wide or shut tight. See the quality of your living by what you do or say. Do you see happiness or gloom in the life you live today? Are the clouds of despair the only thing you see? Do you wonder, who cares to come and rescue me? If you can see your windows, you can see your life. You can change clouds to sunshine by doing what you feel is right. See the rainbows in your life, fleeting moments in your day. See the beauty you can find in what you do or say. We are what we think about every day. We live by faith, fear, or doubt, believing life is but one way. We can think ourselves into happiness, misery, or pain by seeing what we stand to lose or seeing what we stand to gain. If you can see your windows, you can see your life. Awareness is the key. You have the control. You can see your life bright. Now, these windows represent a couple of things. If you're looking from the outside, the windows from the outside, that represents all that toxic, negative stuff that comes at us. The things that have been told to us, the behaviors that have been towards us. All that negative stuff, that's on the outside of the window. What's on the inside of the window is us, ourselves. How do we see ourselves? How do we relate to ourselves? What are we saying to ourselves? And what impact is it having on ourselves? So that's what See Your Windows, See Your Life is all about. And I'm telling you, you can get yourself out of a funky mood by speaking life to yourself. I remember sitting in my living room one day and I was just feeling really down. And I just started saying, "Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy." And I kept saying it. Yeah, don't worry, be happy. And I kept saying it over and over and over again. And to the point where I started laughing, And so that feeling that I was feeling dissipated.
That's right.
We can change those things.
Mhm.
And I mean, we don't realize that we have more control over ourselves,
Mhm.
our bodies, our health than we want to give credit for. And Kim and I were talking earlier, and I don't have any problem sharing my age. I'm
Yeah, I'm
70.
excited about that because people listen now. I'm serious. You have to get your mind right for what she's getting ready to share. Okay. It's unbelievable what age this woman is turning in November. So tell everybody your age.
In November, I will be 73 years old. Now, I'm not on any medications. I do watch what I eat, and our diets are so important. I am convinced, high blood pressure. I had a doctor once tell me, "You may need to get on some medication for high blood pressure." And I said, "No, you need to tell me what it is I can do to lower my blood pressure without medication." And at the time, she was a doctor from India. And she said, "Well, turmeric is a staple in our culture,
Right.
and that will lower your blood pressure." And so I started taking turmeric
Mm.
instead of medicine. And when we take medicine for one thing, it's impacting on something else.
Right.
And so, I feel like Aretha. Don't send me no doctor to fill me up with all them pills.
Yeah. That's good.
Because we have more control. We don't, and our thoughts. If we keep saying, "I'm sick and tired, I'm sick
Right.
and
Sick and
tired,
tired. I'm sick and
sick and
same old,
yeah,
same old.
guess what? That's exactly how you're gonna
That's
feel.
right.
Sick and tired.
Mm.
So speak life into yourself. Speak life
Mhm.
into your children. This is so important. And treat people the way you want to be treated.
Bottom line, everything you're saying, it seems like it's just such basic human responsibility for us to just do unto others as you want done to you. If you want to be uplifted, uplift others. If you want to be a person that's not being bullied, don't bully. It's all of the basics, but for
Right.
whatever reason, people do not implement these basics. So I'm impressed with what you're sharing here. I also wanted to help people, especially parents that are dealing with trying to heal their inner child. There are some things that's happened in their lifetime and they have shame and embarrassment, humiliation, and they're really feeling unseen. How can you help people get past that from some of their own childhood hurts?
First, forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself.
Okay.
And forgive those who may have hurt you.
Okay.
Because when we don't forgive, unforgiveness, studies have shown that unforgiveness can impact on our immune system. It can impact on our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why people have heart conditions and things like that. Are you forgiving? Are you forgiving those who have hurt you?
Yes.
Have you forgiven yourself?
Mm.
Forgiveness is the first thing. Recognize and forgive. You must be able to forgive. And that's easier said than done.
Much easier.
I recognize that. But there's been cases, and example, I've lost all my siblings.
Yes.
Both my sisters died from cancer.
Mm.
My brother just recently, December 20th, just died. He wasn't sick or anything, and he just died unexpectedly.
Mm. Mm.
August, I went to Florida and spent time with him.
Mm.
And we were able to really have heart-to-heart conversation. We were able to forgive each other
You God.
for things. And it was the best time we've ever had together one-on-one. It
Mm.
was amazing.
Mm.
Now, if I hadn't gone to Florida in August and he had died in December
Right.
and we didn't have that conversation,
Mm. That would have made a huge
oh
difference.
my God, I would have felt guilt. I would have felt all kinds of ways. Forgiveness allows you to not live a life of regret.
Right.
It allows you not to live a life of guilt.
Thank you, Jesus.
And just as we are asking people just as we are forgiving
Mhm.
others, think about some things that you need to ask forgiveness for.
Right. Because it's easy for us to tell other people, forgive, forgive, forgive. But we need to be asking for forgiveness from others too, for some things we've done.
Absolutely. And we have to acknowledge if you've done something wrong, acknowledge it and forgive. That's the first step to healing yourself. That is the first step. The second is
Whew.
speak life into yourself. When you're downing yourself, instead of saying things like, I can't do this, or why is my life this way, or turn it around.
Mm.
And you know, that song, sometimes we have to encourage ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
There
Yeah.
may not be people out here that's going to lift you up or encourage you or
Yes.
support you. And if most of the people you're around are not supporting and encouraging you, spend as little time with them as possible, please. Because that
As little.
also,
As little.
as little as possible. And Dr. Sandra.
I see. That's why I put that comment up there.
Yes.
Our visionary for maternal pillars of book is on. And we're so glad to have you, Dr. Sandra. And thank you for allowing us to be a part of the Maternal Pillars project.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a family member that I didn't speak to for a whole year because of the hurt. And my son wanted a birthday party, and he's like, I want them there. At the same time, my church was going through a forgiveness training. At the same time, it's called the bait of Satan. And the bait of Satan is when we offend or when we are offended. That is the bait.
That's right.
And so I had to go up. So they came, and my first question was, what did I do to you? What did I do to you? Didn't get an answer. And I said, I don't know what I did, but whatever I did, I ask your forgiveness.
Of course.
And I want you to know that I forgive you, and I don't ever want to go through this again. And I am so glad I did that, because shortly after they got sick.
See?
And if I had not gone through that process, I might not have been there.
That's right. Right,
So,
because then you wouldn't have even felt right going, because you weren't in good standing with them.
right.
It all goes back to being a complete trick from the enemy to get you separated from those that matter most to you.
Absolutely.
If you say they matter to you, then you should be doing what it takes to stay connected with them.
Absolutely.
I want to take a second to acknowledge our episode sponsor for today, and that's P. Hankins LLC. You can visit phankins.com to get registered for her upcoming events, and make sure you use the code The Kim Jacobs Show. I want to put up here for her upcoming conference. It's going to take place in Massanutten Village in the resort of Massanutten in Virginia. And it is going to be a phenomenal, transformative experience. It's called Week 40, Transform Your Life. So men and women can attend. She's going to be ministering and working with the women, and men, there's going to be like a golf component for you as well. All you have to do is scan the QR code. It's right now an early bird special, and it's taking place October 2nd through the 3rd in Massanutten, resort. So if you're looking for a nice getaway for you and your significant other, make sure you take a moment to visit. And she just recently, our episode sponsor, signed with CTR Media Network as well. You can see her new show on the Grace Effect with Pamela Hankins. So make sure that you all go and check her out and let her know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you her way. All right, let's go to some of these comments too. I see, let me see. I see a bunch of y'all over here. Yay. Okay. I don't want to miss anybody. Charlisa said, say what she said. My co-host over here.
I can't see it.
Oh, praise God.
Praise God. Yes, praise God. I'm looking over in the small chat. Praise God. And I also see Nicole Ziegler.
Yes,
hi, Nicole.
Let me go to Nicole. Nicole, hey, we love the herpreneur.
Yes.
And we love you, Dr. Nikki. My people love y'all.
Yes, love you too. It's been a while. I need to reconnect with her.
And you all, if you do not follow Nicole, Nikki Ziegler, you want to do that immediately. She has so many different services, and she's just a powerhouse in motion herself as well.
She is.
I'm glad to have you. And Sandra Jackson, Dr. Sandra Jackson, says, also realizing you may never hear the words, I'm sorry. Talk about that if you don't ever hear that.
You know what? It's so important, again, for you to apologize. Mm-hmm. If you know you've done something, apologize.
Right.
You know, because when you're holding on to all this stuff, that's some of the stuff that's making you sick.
That's what's causing that dis-ease.
I'm telling you, yes, dis-ease causes disease. Mm-hmm. I mean, people understand we have more control over everything. Now, God is in control,
right,
but He gives us the ability.
That's right.
To make choices that can impact one way or the other.
That's right.
And in our society today, we're looking at all the stuff that's going on in our society, but it starts with each one of us.
Starts within ourselves, so we can have more power because God has given us the power over fear and being able to say that I have a sound mind, and that I'm in control of some things that He's already authorized us to do. I want to make sure too that you all get a copy of Maternal Pillars. I'm one of the authors in the book, but today I want you to get the copy of Maternal Pillars from Vera Thomas, who is one of the contributing authors, and Dr. Sandra E. Jackson is actually the visionary behind it. So we had a virtual book launch recently, and her books are available. If you want to get an autographed copy, I want to make sure that you know how you can do that. If you go to the bit.ly link right there for Vera Thomas, all of the ways to stay connected to her are right. And I like sharing stuff because that way you get a visual.
Yes.
So if you go right to that link that I have there, what you're going to see is all of the ways to stay connected with Vera Thomas. So you'll see her information about, now it's 25 books that she's best-selling author of. You'll learn more about her bio. You'll learn more about her Instilling Greatness program, how to join the community on her Facebook page. There's, you name it, it's endless. Her show, she has the show, The Vera Thomas Show. Tell everybody about The Vera Thomas Show.
The Vera Thomas Show is designed to uplift, encourage, motivate, inspire, and educate. So I have guests that come on to do those things. We start by talking about how their childhood is impacted and what about their childhood has led them to do the things that they do. Because so often, whatever our experiences are as children greatly impact us as adults. And I see my Aunt Diane is on here.
Let me see Diane.
Diane,
yes. Auntie. Yes. So glad that you're on. However, they are forgiven, regardless of what she says. She also said, Vera, many people have no idea they have done anything to even apologize for. That is a really good thing, because sometimes you don't know that you've offended someone and they're just ghosting you and you're like, what did something happen? Am I unaware of what happened? You don't know.
And if that is the case, I had a situation. I have worked on this job for 9 years, and towards the 6th year, I noticed attitudes were changing, and I'm like, all right, what's going on here? So I went to each of them individually, had them come into the office for me to talk to them, and I asked each of them, did I say or do something that's caused you to treat me differently? And let me say this. When you hear the same thing over and over again about you, you need to take account and consider that.
Now, I'm the common denominator.
Right.
I'm the problem.
Right. If everybody is saying the same thing, and in this case, they all said, well, Vera, sometimes you're just really abrupt. And of course, I'm thinking, I'm not abrupt. But then awareness precedes change. I recognize that if I'm in the zone and I'm doing my work and someone just barges in my office without knocking on the door, I'm abrupt.
There you have it.
I recognized, okay?
Right.
And so I had to learn first to ask, please knock before you just walk in my office.
So you set an expectation and a boundary. Now, if somebody violates that, you get in the
But even if they do violate it, I still got to take it. I've got to relate, react, respond. So what I started doing when someone would come in my office and I'm in the zone, I would breathe, I would count, and then I would turn towards them and very calmly say, can I help you?
But that is funny though, Vera. If somebody comes in your door and they knock and you doing all of this drama.
But I had to. It was either that or be abrupt. Which one?
Before I look over at that door, because I know you're not at the door.
I gotta breathe. I gotta calm myself.
How can I help you?
Right. But if I had not approached them when I recognized that there was a problem, then that dissension would have been there and I would have never known why. So in response to that question, people may not even know that they've hurt you. Let them know that they did.
Right. That's the idea, is to just say, you know what you did really hurt me. And that's why you've noticed some distance between us. And here's what I want you to know as to why I'm not responding to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not dealing with you for this reason. But not everybody's willing to do that. So you may go through life never having your answer as to why the person or the people decided to abandon the relationship. You know?
Right. But I feel it's incumbent upon us to at least approach and at least say, did I say or do something that offended you, that caused you to kind of distance yourself from me? You know, and you might even start by saying, this is very uncomfortable for me, but I need to share what I'm feeling. And I'm feeling this distance between us. Did I do or say something that caused it?
That's really good. Okay. I love that.
You know, and communications is key. If we can talk about it, we can handle it.
That's right. There's a solution for everything in my opinion. So I don't have aught in my heart towards people, but even people that I know have formally wronged me. It's like I genuinely love God's people. So even though I don't hang out with the people that I know have done some things to me in that regard, but I don't wish any ill on them. I don't have any ill towards them. If something was going on and they called, I would say, hey, and talk to them. And I definitely just wouldn't ghost them and act like, I know you lying, you calling me. I'm not that person. I just what's going on. It might be an emergency. Something's happening and God allowed the path to reconnect for whatever reason, you know?
Right. You know, one of my favorite scriptures is, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew the right spirit within me. And so speaking the word, you know, is another way to gain that confidence and instill that greatness in you, because it's in the word.
That's
Trust
good.
the word.
Trust the word, y'all.
Yes.
You dropping so much knowledge on this episode. I wanted to just play a real quick clip of your intro to your show and let people know when they can tune in to the Vera Thomas show as well, which you can get all of that information right on the bit.ly link that I've put over here. But let me just play a clip of that because I was like, look at Vera over here. I done found all kind of stuff on you, Vera.
I see.
I'm
I
like,
see.
I got the goods. Okay, go here. Hey.
Welcome to the Vera Thomas show, where testimony, reality and truth meet you at the front door. Perspective to propose.
Business, politics, and growth.
Politics, religion, we talk about the real world we live in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. On the Vera Thomas show, from purpose, uplift, encourage, inspire, motivate, and
all right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we've gone over this hour.
Yeah, it's okay. I told you that hour was going quick, right?
Oh,
Listen,
my
how can people tune
goodness.
into your show?
I am on I'm on the Vera Thomas show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Okay.
And the podcast, I've got to upload stuff on the podcast, but I'm on several podcast platforms as well.
Okay, I'm going to put all of these different, I think I had a whole here. I have a whole, all your stuff right here. I want y'all to stay connected with Vera Thomas on her Facebook group. You can visit any of her Instilling Greatness programs, and that's through Facebook as well, YouTube. She has at the Vera Thomas show, and you can also use that bit.ly link to find out about all of the books, the 25 books and all of the different programs that she's offering. That's bit.ly/Vera, and make sure the V and the T are capitalized.
Yes.
Vera Thomas, and you'll be able to get more information. I'm telling you all this, even though you can see the screen on this platform. I have audio listeners on iHeartRadio, WDRB Media, and different places as well. So that's the bit.ly link /Vera Thomas is how you stay connected. If you have not subscribed and supported and financially contributed to the Kim Jacobs show yet, listen, make sure that you take a moment and pour into our broadcast, because it's the only way that our program is able to come into your home weekdays. Listen, we come into your house Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. You can watch our show right from the comfort of your home, or even listen to it no matter where you are in the world. Okay, so I'm asking you to support our program and be one of our 10 contributors that may even donate today $100. If you're able to do that, these are some of the ways to do it: through PayPal, paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. Venmo is at the Kim Jacobs Show. And we also do Zelle and Apple Cash using the phone number 704-962-7161. What's any closing comments you may have, Vera?
I just want to say to the audience, recognize your greatness. Understand that you have more power and control than you want to give yourself credit for. Understand that you do not have to allow other people to determine who you are or whose you are. And just know that you are all that God intended for you to be, but you got to believe it.
Yes.
You got to believe it. And you can, if you want to schedule a time with me, that very first link on that page, you can do so. There are several gifts in that link as well, including raising upstanding children and preventing them from being bullied. And so thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, audience, for sharing and being here. And I just really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love you, Kim.
I love you. And
you
today's
know.
episode, everybody, is in loving memory. And I don't have pictures of everyone, but I just want to make sure that I put a few pictures up that I was able to find. And
Oh my goodness.
I
That's
was,
my brother.
yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, I found that one.
And today is his oldest daughter. She passed away at the age of 38. And today is her birthday. So
Aw.
I'll be posting. We've lost so many people. I mean, and that's my mother.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
I
my
just wanted to, she's a
mom.
classy looking woman. I just wanted to put at least the pictures that I was able to
Thank you.
find. And I want you to close out, if you would, with the poem, because I know that there's a poem that God has gifted you to be a poet. And I said poet, poet. I said that very eloquently, but he's gifted you. And you're in the process of looking for other poets that would be interested in being a poet
Yes.
technology as well.
Yes, I am. I'm led to create a poetry anthology to help lift the world. So I'm looking for poets from all over the world to submit to be a part of a book called Voices That Lift Us. And you can contact me through that link, or you can send an email to voicesthatliftus@gmail.com.
Voices that lift us. Let me put
At-
that. Voices
that
that
lift us
lift us
at gmail.com.
gmail.com. If you want to be a part of a poetry
Anthology.
I'm over here typing. I'm being your assistant, girl.
Okay.
I'm doing the most.
Thank you.
So if y'all are interested, make sure that you go to voices that lift us at gmail.com. Make sure you email and let Vera Thomas know right away, because she's in the process of finalizing some things.
Yeah.
If you want to be a part of a poetry anthology that she's putting together, and this poet knows exactly what she's talking about. So let's see. Let me give you the chance to say your poem. And wait a minute. Okay. Read about Vera's mom in the book, Maternal Pillars.
Yes.
So her mom, who we dedicated this show to today,
yes,
you're going to learn more about her in the Maternal Pillars book. So get your autographed copy from Vera Thomas, my special guest.
Yes. DM me on Facebook or send me a link. Set up a time to meet with me. And
Okay.
I was going to do That's My Greatness, but the kids did it.
Oh, that's right.
And so let me just end with children are people too.
Okay.
Children are people too. Show them the good inside of you. Give them praise for tasks they do. See their light shine bright through the light which comes from inside of you. Children need all we desire so much: the love, the hug, the kiss, the tender touch. The attitudes we express to them are the messages they learn to send. From examples like you and me, our children grow to be what they see. Do you show hatred, indifference, or love? Do you yell and scream no matter what in spite of? Have you shared kind words with your child today? Have you truly listened to what they had to say? Or did you just ignore and continue on your way, hoping they get the message and go somewhere and play? Children are an extension of all that we are, and the most valued God-given gift by far. There are so many things they must grow to understand. We must guide and lead them with loving, outstretched hands. Teach and treat children as people too. See their light shine bright through the light which comes from inside of you.
Wow. I need to drop the mic, some kind of emoji or something. This is crazy. Thank you, Vera. Thank you for being my special guest today. I think we got in as much as we possibly could. And if this episode was a blessing to you, please make sure that you put it in the comments section, one of your key takeaways from today's message. Every one of us should have a takeaway, something that we're going to be doing differently as a result of what we heard today. So drop it in the comments section. Vera will be going back and looking at those comments, and let's just let her know that we heard her, we saw her, and we actually will implement what we learned today.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. And thank you, Vera.
Thank you.
Bringing it into their homes through you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
You're an amazing blessing. Okay, everybody. I love you all. Thank you all, everyone that tuned in. And we'll see you again tomorrow right here on the Kim Jacobs Show at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day and a great week.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.